Okay, friends, it's 2 o'clock. Mickey's big hand is up here. Thank goodness. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. There we go. Call to order. Yes, that's what we just did. And it's early in June. It's the 10th. Yes. And here's our housekeeping notes. So, Rob, you got everybody muted there in the Zoom audience, I hope?
Yeah, sure do.
Okay, thank you. And you folks here, everybody remember? Oh, here's everybody with their phones out. Oh, good. I had mine out not too long ago, so thank you. If you need to take a call, please go outside the library because we are at the library. We're supposed to be semi-quiet here. I'll be repeating questions so the folks at home can hear us. And don't forget, we have an X. I went all out today and we actually have an X up here instead of just a line. Visitors? We don't have any visitors. Yeah. Rob, you got any visitors online?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Everybody signed in? I saw most people. Don't forget to sign up for trains at the tree. Skip my mind there for a minute. We'll talk more about that later. Minutes from the last meeting are posted on the website. Did everybody read them? Yeah. All right.
I move they be accepted as posted.
Second.
Mike, is that with you, Bruce? Yeah. Mike Berry moved to accept the minutes and Bruce seconded. Bob's not here today, so we're going to be repeating the stuff for Bob's benefit. Let's move along to the treasurer's report.
Okay. All right.
Oh, wait. Somebody.
We didn't vote.
Somebody helped him, yeah. You usually help me with that, yeah. Mike. All those in favor of approving the minutes as posted?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Mike.
Yeah.
Remember to do that for yours.
This is luckily a little quicker than usual this month. On the expense side, that's a good thing. Yeah. All right.
Okay, don't go away, Mike. Yeah. Can we have a motion to approve Mike's report? Cecil and Bill seconded. Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Okay.
Now we're on to committee.
Don't forget the vote.
You can buy the guy books, but he just eats the covers. All those in favor of approving the treasurer's report?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay.
Great. Thank you, Mike. Member welfare.
All right. For this past month, a couple of members' wives, in fact. Jeannie Geertz, as you see here, Rick's wife, had some surgery. And same way with the other Rick's wife, Rick Tipton's wife, Katie Tipton. And they're both recuperating right now, home, and hopefully on the mend. So that's kind of it for this month. Okay.
Thank you, Mike. Do we need to vote on it? No. I was ready in case we did. All right. This next item on the agenda is kind of a big deal. Fred and Bruce DeMare, would you step up, please?
Bruce, come on up here for a moment. So you may have noticed that I'm sitting up front today because we've shuffled things around. Bob Dawson isn't here. He's at home, got something going on. So I'm kind of filling in for him, kind of doing that. And a couple of other people missing. Rob Toller is online as the online host because Russ is off at a convention. So we're all wearing different hats. Well, right now I'm putting my Mid-Central Region Secretary hat on. No, secretary. I'm not the president. So we're going to present this award to Bruce. We want to make note of it here in front of all the Division 8 folks. This is an award that was actually announced at the convention in Pittsburgh a little bit. So let me read this little thing. And I'm reading through this and going, this is really the Bruce I know. So this is the Mid-Central Region Directors Award, and this is primarily for service to the region, whereas if you're doing service for the division, that moves forward as well. So and this isn't the whole thing because we'd be here for 20 minutes. Bruce DeMayer been involved in many activities in Division 10, Division 8, and the Mid-Central Region over the last several years. He's been a great advisor on how to get things done and how to get them done well. Way back in 2015, Bruce stepped up to become the chairman of the Mid-Central Region Convention, hosted by Division 10 in Lexington. Based on the success of that event, as well as his continuing contributions, he has been made an honorary member of Division 10 when he moved to Louisville. Bruce has been a nonstop, focus-driven, never-ending driving force for T-Track. I think everybody will validate that. Initially in Division 10, then across the Mid-Central Region for many years. In 2019, Bruce agreed to become the registrar for Indy Junction 2022, which may have been the worst decision you've ever made in your life. There were some days.
I'm a farmer.
There you go. Well, so became the registrar for Indy Junction 2022 with the Midwest, North Central, and Mid-Central regions combining their efforts in a tri-regional convention. His efforts managing the registration team and their responsibilities assured attendees were aligned with the request and that the event was a success. So that's a short synopsis of some of the major things that Bruce has been involved in over the last several years. So on behalf of the region and the directors of the Mid-Central region, let me present this to you. And Barbara, why don't you stand out there? And Bruce and I are gonna pretend that we're smiling.
And we're gonna have this no smoking sign right between, right up. Yeah, you don't need to shift.
Where do you want us?
Move. Yeah, let me go this way. Yeah.
There you go.
Smile. And keep your eyes open, smile. So many times with closed eyes. Okay.
All righty, sir, there you go. You want to say something? You got 10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 seconds. You all ought to build a module, okay? I don't care whether you're HO, O, whatever. Build a module and use it as, help us use it as a tool to grow what we're doing in the rest of the NMRA.
Thank you, Bruce.
Bruce.
Congratulations.
There you go. Oh, put it back here so that Ron and I don't screw it up. All right, so we can move on.
We can move on. Cecil,
So
can you come up, please?
Mark Norman is not here today either. So now I'm putting my assistant AP chairman hat on for Division 10. Mark Norman is running around in the desert at Philmont, having a great time being a Boy Scout this week, next week, I think, a couple of weeks down there. We have finally received the certificates for Cecil. This first one is for Chief Dispatcher. We're going to do 3 photos. Okay. Okay. We're going to do one with each, and then we're going to do one with both. So here's this one. Hold that one. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Give me that one back.
Yeah. Don't get attached to it.
And Master Builder Structures. There you go.
I think there was probably a big crowd house involved with that one. Okay.
And now I'll hold one, you hold one, and then I'll make it official here.
Okay.
How many is this now? Is this 3?
3. Yeah.
3. Okay, so volunteer, dispatcher, and structures. What's up next, Cecil?
I'm working on electric.
Working on electrical. Cool. I think I'm done for now. Barry, you're here. Good. Is it Barry hadn't got here? I was going to put my other hat on.
Yeah, we've been at the whole show today. So you guys, I have a raging head cold, hence the mask, because I'm being very possessive about my cold germs and I'm not sharing them with anyone, including Robin. But if you guys would like to have my arthritis hip pain, I'd be happy to share it with you. So thank you for Fred and Ron for giving me the option in case the meds weren't working, but the meds are working, so we're happy. And we have a much healthier contest as we come to our last month of the model contest. Open loads, one of our favorites here at Division 8, and we had 5 entries. And just looking over the past year of the contest, the thing really that impressed me is how much really good information the modelers in the
who have entered the contest have given us to improve our modeling as they share with us about their creations. And this month was no exception to that. A lot of good, interesting detail. So for honorable mention, we have Bob Frankrone, and he's got Southern Flat Car with Load. And we have Rick Geertz with a machine shop load. So just learning about the loads itself is fascinating. And then you go on to the modeling techniques. So for third place, we have Steve Lasher, Fairbanks Morse Prime Mover. One of the few places you can see a Fairbanks Morse anything nowadays would be on a model railroad. Second place, Jacob Butler, removable gondola scrap load. And be sure and check out what he used to make that scrap. Very interesting. And then first place for this month is Ed Brennan with his L&N scrap gondola. So congratulations to everyone for their good work, and to Ed for first place. So now, Ed, I've got 2 certificates I'm going to hunt down and get to you. So next month, no contest. And the reason there's no contest is because we will be at Entertainment Junction for our July picnic. And we will be presenting the awards for this contest year at that event. So be there. And then we start all over again in August. And our first contest category of the year each time is maintenance of way equipment. And just a reminder to all the modelers, we have partitioned out now, and we have a vehicle category. So you can do railborne maintenance away in August, and then you can do highway maintenance away equipment on the vehicle category. And another reminder to everyone is here at the Jeffersontown Library, we have a lot of table space. And so we're just encouraging modelers to fill up that table at the meetings with some of their latest work, work in progress, finished items, whether it's related to the month's category or not, don't worry about that. We're just looking forward to doing that. And also there's a little billboard over there. So is that coming up later on? Yeah, we're going to hear about that billboard later on. So, okay, have a good day, everybody.
Thanks so much, Barry. Thanks for your work on the contest. Okay, Russell's not here, so you'll have to listen to more of me. And a reminder, speaking of Mike, he's just talking about himself, I guess. I'll move the mic. Okay, today we have Fred's presentation on the Santa Cruz branch, prototype and modeling considerations. Looking forward to that. And our next meeting is not until August 12th, which is, by the way, early in the month again, and that's because of the National Convention coming up in August. So we're meeting a week early because of that. We don't have a program yet, but we're working on it. So the early meeting, we should have mentioned that during the contest, but the contest, the first contest of the new contest year starts another week early. So it's very end. I think it's July 29th is the first day to submit entry. So if you're working on your mow loads, don't forget, you need to have it a week early. And Russell's not here to ask for this, but I'm asking for him. We just mentioned that we have no presenter for August. Do I see any hands going up? No, no presenters. Well, we'll have Russ speak to you, but we are looking for presenters, folks here in the room and folks at home. If you have a presentation you'd like to share with a group, get hold of Russ or send an email or call Division 8. And next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, trains at the tree. You can run trains. You can help out the Division 8 table, or you can just come and hang out, watch trains run. We do have a sign-up sheet over here. If you'd like to sign up to help out, we'd like to be able to know that you're coming, to expect you, and also to let the hosts of this event, which are the Southern Indiana Railroad and the Louisville connecting lines, are looking for help because they're small groups and they need our help. So if you can help out, please come. If nothing else, drop by and talk to folks about model railroading. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday and Saturday, 11 to 8, Sunday, 12 to 6.
Ron, I've not been to this before. What scales are available for running?
HO.
Only. Okay.
I'll loan you something.
Oh. Yeah, I'm sure if you want to come and run trains, they'll have extra equipment there. Right, Darcy?
Yep.
Darcy, you know, he carries around about 18 trains, complete trains of different kinds, every place he goes. Yeah, I think he has a trailer he hooks up to his minivan.
That's for all the decoders.
Yeah. And electronics. And don't forget, time is running out. Week from this coming Wednesday, I think, or excuse me, a month from this coming Wednesday, we have our summer picnic. There's still seats in the bus available. Online now. If you're having trouble with that, call us or send us an email. We'd be happy to help you with it. Otherwise, go online and buy yourself a ticket. It's very easy. And there's a link right on the, where is there a link? I guess in the pie card, yes. Thanks. Sorry, Bob.
And it's been in emails, the Wednesday updates.
Yeah, the Wednesday. Yeah, you just put it out a couple days ago.
Yeah, well, not everybody gets that update. And we will be reminding folks a few times in the next few weeks, not only about the trains at the tree this coming week, but also about the picnic. Watch your email for these exciting reminders. Huh. I guess that's it.
Except.
Oh, well, as I read, back to basics is coming up here right now. Fred's going to slide over here and sit where I'm sitting. And
that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
All righty. So back to basics this month. This suggestion came from Barry Christensen, actually. If I could do a quick back to basics of scratch building with some very basic tools. So everybody in the room, look 90 degrees to your right. And what you'll see is a little billboard over there. And that's what I'm really going to talk about, how I built that billboard with some very, very basic tools. Now, I kind of cheated a little bit. And I didn't have to, but it made it a little easier because I went to Mike Berry and said, hey, remember when Dave Ackman did that clinic about billboards? And he gave us these templates, these tools, these jigs to use. I used those. I could have done it without it, but it sure made it easier, especially doing the bents by using this, just plopping the things in there and gluing them up. So that's what we're going to talk about. I know that, and part of this, Barry and I were talking about, part of it is, I know a lot of folks are just frightened to death almost. Oh my God, I got to scratch build something. It's not that hard. It's, you know, as my daughters would tell you, they were scared to death of parallel parking. Well, I taught them how to parallel park, and the oldest one took her driver's license test in San Francisco, where you have to parallel park twice, going up the hill and going down the hill, and aced it without any problems at all. It was that fear factor, but once you got over that, it was fine. So let's go talk about this a little bit. Start out small. Billboard's pretty darn small. Start out with something basic. Now, billboard's pretty basic. Something achievable, but maybe challenging to you. Okay, so you want that little bit of a stretch goal. How many times have we talked about that, huh? Find some plans, make some plans, but whatever you do, don't just do it off the top of your head. You're going to be upset. You're going to be disappointed when you get done with it. Even if it's just sketched out on a piece of paper with a pencil and some basic measurements, do that. Better go get some plans somewhere and follow that. You could spend a lot of money on tools. You could spend a lot of money on supplies. You don't have to spend a lot of money to scratch build something basic, and you don't need a lot of supplies to scratch build something basic. Okay, let me step back from that a minute. One of my first scratch building projects was when I did the 6 cars for my car certificate for the MMR. Okay, the very first thing I scratch built was a transfer caboose. I just violated the first three things up here. Well, actually, I violated the first two because it was way challenging, and evidently it was achievable because I made it happen. Don't do something like that. It was crazy to do something like that as your first scratch building project, but you could. Okay, all right. Keep it simple. Okay, use that old KISS method. So let's talk about building this HO scale billboard. I suggest you try something as simple, as basic, as achievable as this. There are plans out there for it. In fact, the basic information is inside this envelope that comes with the templates and jigs from Dave. And Dave's got a video out there, or you can go back and watch his clinic on the Division 8 YouTube channel, and he talks you through how to do it. So there's a step-by-step guide. It can't be that hard, for crying out loud. Use the fixtures and jigs from the Division 8 library. How hard is it to check out? You got to find Mike. Most of us can find Mike on Monday and Tuesday at Scale Reproduction, for crying out loud. If you can't find him there, his email's out there, his phone number's out there, contact someone else. It's easy to get a hold of Mike. And to sign it out, you fill out a form, you say, I'm going to sign this out and I'm going to return it on or about this date. Done. Nothing to it. Yes.
Where's the form?
The form is on the Division 8 website. It's great. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Mr. Dawson has actually asked me to write an article about this, so I'll be detailing that in the article about where to go find that. But thank you, Ron. I used leftover pieces of styrene strip. I used leftover pieces of styrene sheet. I did not use gift cards, much to Barbara's amazement. Gift cards or hotel room keys, because I wanted a piece of styrene that was a little bigger than what any of those would be. And that's the only reason why. If I was doing this in N scale, I'd have been using a hotel room key, probably one from Pittsburgh at the convention, quite honestly. I probably would have been, because it would have been about the right size. I use minimal tools and adhesives, and I'm going to show you that as we go through here. Created a custom billboard. Now there's a bunch of images out there, billboards. I wanted something I could probably put on the layout, either our Santa Cruz and Felton Railroad or on the Pikeville layout. And if you look over here, the one that I have on it is actually for Dave's Lumber. What does it say?
Superior Wood since 1958.
Superior Wood since 1958. That's actually for the big lumber facility we have in the Pikeville layout. And that's named after Barbara's brother, Dave, who was born in 1958 in Pikeville. Yes, absolutely. Okay. And then I knocked it out. How long did it take me start to finish? 2 hours. Now, if I followed all of Dave Ackman's guidance, it would have taken me 2 to 3 days to do this. I didn't wait for the glue to dry overnight. I said, it's dry enough. Let's move on. Now, here's the other thing. As you look at that billboard, I have intentionally not yet painted it, because for those in the room, I want you to be able to pick it up and look at it and see all the cut marks and everything. Once I paint it with forest green, you're not going to be able to see that stuff as well. All right. So those are the parts. Other than the billboard backing itself, those are the parts. Nothing else to it. What did I use? A number 18 chisel hobby blade. I used a number 11 hobby knife blade and a scale ruler. Well, yeah, I used a pencil, but honestly, those are the tools other than this packet that you can pick up from Mike that Dave Ackman gave us. Those are the tools. You don't need a drill press. You don't need a table saw from Micromark. You don't even need one of those fancy cutters. This is all you need, really, and you can make this thing happen. Glue, I use styrene glue that is about dead. You can see right there, there's not much of that Tamiya left. That's what I use. What I use that for? I use that for all the scratch building stuff I did for the AP. It's just glue that I had around, just styrene thin cement that I had around. Rubber cement. Now the rubber cement, the reason I use that is I put a very thin, border inside the border on the back of the billboard. And then I did not put any on the paper that I'm gluing to it. Part of the reason for that is I want to be able to remove that sign and put a different sign on there here and there whenever I want to. So I just put a very thin layer of rubber cement on there. And honestly, it's good enough for what we need to do here, okay? And then eventually I'll either use Rust-Oleum brown or Rust-Oleum green to paint the thing itself. Cool? Not much to it. And that's what it looks like. That's it after 2 hours. That's it. And that 2 hours included figuring out that I did not have the exact size styrene that Dave Ackman recommended. I didn't have the square. I had some rectangle instead. I went, that's close enough. Let's build this thing, you know? Because as you go around and look at billboards, they're not all exactly the same anyway. They kind of sort of have the same structure. Now, what I didn't know until I built this and I showed it to Barbara's brother is that one of Dave's high school jobs was actually helping a guy put up signage on billboards. How crazy is that? He's like, oh yeah, do you ever know? It's like, no. He said, well, what do you think? He says, looks like a billboard to me. So there you have it from a guy who used to work on billboards. What more verification? So some things that I might do, some things that you might do. Don't have to, but you might. Oh, wait. There we go. Okay. So I thought about, again, Dave's lumber, and this is the three components of Dave's lumber. You can see the big storage on the top left and the mill itself on the bottom. And then there's all three of them, with including the unloading ramp there in Pikesville. Maybe we'd make a sign like this. I finally decided on the top left one. Although, I don't know, I kind of like that one with the wood grain in the back. Maybe Pastor Paul's Practically Perfect Pizza. It's simply scrumptious slices and is beautifully baked bread. In several locations and along the coastline, Aptos, Capitola, Santa Cruz, SoCal, Watsonville, and Tyanni. Okay, Pastor Paul's Pizza never existed, but our former, now retired pastor at our church loved to bake pizza, and we always called it Pastor Paul's Practically Perfect Pizza. So I thought it'd be a nice little thing. We might not actually have a pizza shop, but we might have a billboard advertising it. You know, like modeling something that's not there, but it's there. Okay. Or maybe I'll make a billboard up for the Roaring Camp of Big Trees Narrow Gauge Railroad. You're going to see me talk about that when I do my clinic here in a few minutes, because that's a railroad that actually does exist out there. It's tourist line only, and that's the railroad address and so forth. So I don't know. Maybe we'll make some more of those. Maybe I'll get someone else in the house to make a billboard. Ha! She's back there going, I don't know about that. All right. So some other things you might do. You might scratch build some lights. You guys have seen the lights that I've made out of scrap pieces of stuff. Maybe we'll put 3 or 4 lights across the top. Not light them, but put them up there.
This is now detail.
And you might do that. Okay, take it that next step. Maybe, well, it says super detail now. Or maybe you get really fancy, you put some lighted lights across the top. Not this guy. You might put a little scrap of square styrene with a little circle that you slice off the end of a rod, glue that together, paint it kind of silvery, and it becomes an electrical meter. Maybe use some scrap bits of wire to simulate conduit from that meter up to the lighting. Maybe go to scale or order online somewhere. I don't think Roundhouse has nut bolt washer castings, do they? No. Okay. But you could order those. You could put those on there. And you all know what I mean by nut bolt washer castings, right? Okay. Maybe you could weather the wood structure, not make it look like it was just put out there, or weather the billboard sign, or make it partly assembled, put a crew out there putting up the last frame or two or slices or two of the billboard itself. Remember, in the old days, they weren't electric, they weren't video. You had to put those pieces up there individually like wallpaper. Maybe you do something like that. Things to think about beyond what you're doing now. Again, you really don't need a lot of tools to scratch build a basic structure. You really don't need a lot of supplies to make it happen. This was stuff that I just had left over from other projects. And actually, it was from the cars that I built. And as promised, coming soon, but we wanted to jump in here and do this one. I am going to do part 2 and part 3 for what we did last month with roadbed materials and then prototype model railroad ballast materials as well. That is it. Any questions about that?
Why did you choose plastic and not wood?
Because I had it available. Well, two reasons actually, Bruce. One is that's what Dave Ackman had in his clinic. And because I had it on hand and knew I could knock it out quick. If I did wood, it would have taken me longer. I would have had to, I have the wood, but I have to go find it. Okay. Because Barbara bought, just as Cecil did at, what convention was that? St. Louis? Kansas City. Barbara and Cecil were the first 2 purchasers of the Mount Albert scale lumber bins. I don't remember what, Lumber yards, that's right. But they weren't really lumber yards. They were just huge bundle of strip wood and so forth. But I was like, I can do it in plastic, and I knew I could knock it out quick. And part of it is I want to kind of get people doing that. Could I build it in wood? Yeah, I could build it in wood. Yeah. But it'd take me longer.
I would also add that the first one may not meet your satisfaction as a model. Don't be afraid of saying, I'm going to rebuild this and
Yep.
do it a second time.
Yep.
Modify.
Yep. Take it apart and modify it and work it over. Yep. I'm pretty happy with that as it is, quite honestly. There was one bent that I wasn't happy with. And when the glue dried, I went, take it apart, trim it up a little bit, glue it down again, moving right along. Yep. So yeah, don't be afraid to do that. Questions, comments, historical allegory? 5 minutes. 5-minute break. We'll be right back here. Give everybody online and in here a chance to do some bio stuff, and then we'll get into the presentation.